Well, actually, I grew up about 3 miles from here in the Gardenside area. So when I was in high school, I came up to Keeneland quite a bit as a fan. And it was just happenstance that after I retired and moved back to Kentucky, I was out here with another group. I ran into one of the ushers, and he said, "Why don't you start working out here since you like it so much?" So one thing led to another, and here I am today.
Yeah, this is pretty much a game you got to get into young. You just start really early. Like I speak for both of us, we started getting on horses fairly early, like most jocks do. Usually we have family or friends that were in the sport prior, and like on myself, I started when I was 11. Started getting on thoroughbreds when I was 11. Started really breezing horses 12, and then by 16 I was had my apprenticeship, which is an amateur jockey, and then by 17 I was a professional.
Yeah, I started much later. I started when I was 16, and when I was 18, after I wasn't able to start riding until I was graduated high school. That was a rule my dad told me. But basically, yeah, I had an uncle that was a jock. My dad is a very big racing fan, and both me and my brothers are jockeys.
How did I get in the horse racing business? Well, I've been going to the racetrack since I was 5 years old. So since I was a little girl, you see these kids around here, I was just like them, just enjoying looking at horses, and just I love animals. I've always loved them my entire life, and I grew up actually, I'm not from Lexington, I'm actually from Chicago, Illinois, and I grew up not too far from probably one of the prettiest and most prestigious racetracks in the country besides Keeneland, and of course Saratoga, that's Arlington Park. And I've been going with my family. They still go there. I'm usually hard at work at some other racetracks, but they still pack up a picnic and make a day out of it with the entire family. It's just a fun way to enjoy a Saturday or Sunday afternoon.
How did I get in? I loved horses. I loved them my entire life. In fact, I could quit a real nice job just to start walking horses so I could learn about them, and because I used to come to the track all the time just to bet on them. So I just took a job on the backside and learned the business, and from there it's a labor of love.
I grew up in the country, and I grew up around horses, not down in West Kentucky, but the horses I grew up around are horses that are used for working horses. It was before we had a tractor to work for, and we raised corn and tobacco. It was a subsistence farm. We raised corn and tobacco with horses, and so I learned to plow and cultivate and do whatever it was to do with horses, but they were work horses. Mm-hmm. I never was around thoroughbreds till I came to Lexington.
I grew up in Saratoga Springs, New York, which is the home of the oldest racetrack in the country, and my family used to own horses, not thoroughbreds, but modern standardbreds when I was growing up, so I've been around racing my whole life.
Not really.
No?
Not really, but just being here at Keeneland, you can't help but love it.
I'm a freelance turf writer, so I write for a variety of publications. I started out as a blogger with a blog called Brooklyn Backstretch, and I was very lucky because I found the racing community very welcoming, letting me on the backstretch, giving me credentials, and that slowly led to other opportunities. The first sort of big break was covering the Saratoga Racing Meet for my hometown paper, which is the Saratogian, and that led to various other opportunities.
Here at Keeneland, I have quite a few roles, about 5 exactly. During the race meet, I'm the admissions manager, admissions department manager. During the sales, I'm the supervisor of the sales counter, which is some of the behind-the-scenes things. I also work in the simulcasting. We run some contests during the year. In the summer, I work up there sometimes. And then some special events that we have here, ad hoc things during the summer. I'm also involved in that as well.
Actually, I'm the announcer at Presque Isle Downs. Horse racing now, I call the races. Not here, obviously. Here I'm just a race fan.
Well, for the last 7 years, I've been working at multiple racetracks as the paddock analyst. So I handicap the races for that day, and I just talk about the horses that are competing in each race. And here, particularly at Keeneland, actually, I go and stand right behind me in this beautiful paddock, and I talk about the horses that are coming up, and maybe give some insight from the paddock on how the horses look, and maybe you can pick up on a thing or two and possibly play a long shot and a horse that didn't necessarily look good on paper.
I'm working in Kentucky, Lexington today, and we decided to come out and see some horse racing.
Well, there's always things, more people learning about the horses and how to bet them. And, mainly it's just come out and enjoy the time, have a lot of fun. You look at Keeneland, especially right here, all the people and the social atmosphere is really nice. And then you get to see great athletes. These animals are beautiful.
There are a lot of them. When you look around at a place today like Keeneland, it's so beautiful. There are so many people here having a good time. Obviously, the horses are great. Wagering is fun. As a writer, all of the stories are great. There's sort of no horse, no owner, no trainer, no jockey that doesn't have some interesting story to tell, and I like the opportunity to find out what those are and tell those stories to a wider community.
It's winning for sure. That's
Ultimate goal, winning.
Yeah.
it's the most addictive thing we can probably attribute to ourselves. And all the meals that you can eat, all the long mornings that you work hard for, a lot of the late nights you ride with is all makes up for when you stand in the winner's circle, especially at a place like Keeneland or Saratoga you right here, you're the best in your game. So winning here and winning places like that is the ultimate addiction. And probably the majority of all jockeys, that's the reason why they do it.
Basically the pageantry of it, the sights, the sounds, even the smells is what I like the most about it.
I think everybody enjoys watching horses run. The occasional one that you get that's a little better and all that wins a race, that's really special.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I'm betting on them. In fact, right now I was going to bet on this race. I'm not going to get to, but you'll probably save me a lot of money.
Well, I very seldom bet during the Keeneland meet. I like to bet at Churchill Downs after Keeneland ends, but I read the daily racing form just like any other horse player. I can't say I'm a good horse player at all, but I have a preference for some of the jockeys and so forth, but I just look at the daily racing form like everyone else does.
When I find time, I get pretty busy throughout the day, but yeah, I have a couple of horses I like to play on each race day, and I kind of get creative. My favorite wagers are pick fours. I particularly like the late pick fours, so I try to put together a bet each race day and try to play the pick four if I have time, and there's just a couple of horses I like to play across the board, which is Win, Place, and Show.
No. I normally bet on the Derby if I don't bet on anything else. And since I missed that, it makes 2 years since I've bet on a horse. That's one of the things that you find out pretty quickly, that any kind of betting on any gambling thing doesn't make much sense, because somebody has to pay for that nice big racetrack out there, and if you don't want it to be you. And the gamblers are the one that pays for it.
No. Tell them? Yes. It's legal, right?
Do you win?
Yes.
Yes.
I just look at the past performances, see how they've done, and hopefully I can guess who's gonna, how well they do today.
Oh, they have to look good. Horse has to look strong.
Strong?
Yeah.
So you like to see the horse, not the stats.
That's right. I don't even understand the stats.
Well, when you're looking for a good horse to play, you want to see a horse that's on their toes or light on their feet, looks very healthy looking, dappled out, so they've got like nice bright spots on their flesh, on their skin, and just a horse that stands out, that looks like an athlete, because these are athletes.
Probably should be more fair.
I really can't say that's an area of something I have no idea about. I don't get involved in that at all.
I would say it's as fair as it can be. I guess you would have to ask them. Obviously it's weighted towards the win. This is a game about winning. winning pays 60% of the purse, and then you drop down to 20, 10, 5. So you got to win a lot of races to make some money.
It's pretty good. I think it's pretty fairly done, and it's done similarly everywhere.
I think so. I mean, you also got to remember that the owners and trainers, invest a lot of money for our game to be going, and it's not like we make pretty good money, especially for, speak for a lot of us don't have a, high education, but I mean, it's a game that you can either be doing really well or you can be doing really bad. I mean, because $75 mount fee doesn't go a long way, for your bills, I mean, if you're not doing well. I mean, there's always really extraordinary circumstances within the athletes. It's just like, you want to say basketball or football, you get your low guy on the pay scale, obviously he's not making as much as Brady is, I mean, it's the same kind of context, but I mean, if you're doing well, you're making a lot of money, but if you're doing bad, it can be a real struggle.
No. Maybe. More diversity.
Most difficult thing. Sometimes the crowd controls some of the unruly patrons, although that's the role and responsibility of the security folks. Sometimes we, through no design, we get involved in that, and that's one of the more difficult aspects of it.
The summer that I first started following racing all year round, which was 2004 to 2005, there was a 2-year-old horse that raced at Saratoga called the Fleet Alex, and he would go on to finish 4th in the Kentucky Derby and win the Preakness and the Belmont. And when he was a 2-year-old racing at Saratoga, he was the horse that I had my first kind of big racehorse crush on. And to see him go on and do sort of so spectacularly well was a great way to get me back interested in the game, and sort of indoctrinated me, and that was a great kickoff to my emergence in racing at that point.
Probably winning 6 races in one day is probably my highlight.
Probably the greatest day since I've become a jockey was my dad win the Black Eyed Susan in '75, and I win it in 2008. And that was a great day, having my father there at Pimlico and winning such a big race that he also won. That was probably my greatest day.
I was giving I guess they were preschoolers, a tour of the area, and we had a lot of manure to go around because the horses had just gotten worked out, and the little kids didn't care for that at all. And then I said, "Are there any questions?" And one little girl asked me, she said, "Why doesn't Keeneland have litter boxes around here for these horses?"
That's cute.
Yeah, just winning this last race.
Wow.
I walked in and bet immediately. I don't know
I'm sorry,
how much
that
I
was an
won.
appropriate question.
But I won, so that's my best memory.
Right, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've been coming to Keeneland since 1971. I used to have to sneak into this racetrack when I was like 16 years old. And I still love it as much today. Even that sycamore tree right behind us has been here the whole time.
I just thought that I was going to be a handicapper when I actually picked that horse Charismatic, who won the Kentucky Derby and was a long shot, was a big upset, and I wasn't doing what I'm doing now. I was just kind of a young girl or a teenager that was just looking at the past performances. I really liked the horse. I liked the horse's name and all that, and then the horse won, and I cashed in a big ticket, and I was just like, oh, I love horse racing, and then I guess the rest is history.